Hello, my name is Ray, and today I'm going to be talking about the film format Super 8. Super 8mm film was first released in 1965 by Kodak Eastman to replace the double or regular standard 8mm amateur film format. And by amateur film format, I do mean something that non-professionals in the 1960s could go out and easily buy equipment for and get their footage processed at their local booths. The revolutionary improvement that Super 8 brought to the table was to have your film inside of a cartridge which you could slot inside of a camera. Before these cartridges were introduced with standard 8mm cameras, you would have to feed your film into the camera before you shot. But with Super 8, you just slot it in and it works. It's easy. The format lasted a good 20 years, which is quite long for a piece of technology to be on the market with no significant updates throughout the years. And it wasn't until the early 1980s when professional manufacturing of Super 8 equipment and film stopped. But even today, Super 8 is a popular format, and there are many independent companies and sellers who sell work in vintage Super 8 cameras and provides repairs for Super 8 cameras and projectors, as well as offer process and development services at quite reasonable prices. Because of the particular look you get when working with Super 8, and arguably the way you can't replicate that look with modern day digital cameras or editing software, the use of Super 8 has been quite popular in professional productions in recent years. Director Oliver Stone has used Super 8 extensively in his films, including Natural Born Killers, The Doors, Nixon, U-Turn and JFK. Also, many of Lana Del Rey's music videos have been shot on Super 8, or at least featured footage which has been shot on Super 8, and it proves that Super 8 is a look which genuinely appeals to the generic Tumblr user. The limitations and opportunities that you get when working with Super 8 has proved it to be quite popular in the world of independent and experimental filmmaking. Annual events such as Straight 8 have been organised as they support the model of filmmaking which Super 8 provides, as it can really test a filmmaker's creative and artistic ability. Organised events like Straight 8 run screenings of their films at Cannes Film Festival and many other festivals worldwide. And for those who don't know, Cannes Festival is a pretty big deal. It's a massive deal. Now, many of you have probably noticed that today I'm joined by the 1960s equivalent of a DVD player. That's right, it's the UMIG Mark 610D Dual 8 silent projector. Super 8mm was also one of the first methods of home cinema, meaning you can go out and buy films to project on your walls at home, which was just crazy watching films outside of the cinema at your own home. Crazy, revolutionary history, man. History. Now, in order for you to set up your UMIG Mark 610D silent film projector, you have to crank this thing up first of all, and your film reel goes onto there with the film coming out on the front like so, and you just slot it in and you crank this down and it holds it in place. Then you turn this thing to the right, and once that's going, you find the end of your film, and then you slide it in, just feed it in like a baby, and the film will slowly find its way into this spool, and once it's going, you turn it again, and there you go. It's pretty cool. That was pretty easy. This particular projector is Austrian made. That is the reason for it lasting over 40 years and working perfectly. And once you're done watching your film, you just crank this thing over to the left and it starts rewinding it back into this spool. It's so much better than Blu-ray. Yeah. Now, I personally own a couple of Super 8 film reels, including this adaptation of Jason and the Argonauts, and I say adaptation because this is not the same feature-length film that you watched in the cinemas in 1963 of Jason and the Argonauts. No, it's an 18-minute silent adaptation with subtitles in black and white. Most feature-length films such as Jason and the Argonauts or Star Wars were released onto 200 feet of film, which translates to about 18 minutes of film. Because of this limitation, most films were cut down to the very key elements of the story, or at least the segments which were most visually exciting, that people would want to take home and play whenever they want on their walls and be like, look Sonny Jim, that's the Star Wars man fighting the bad man thing. Am I Tumblr famous yet? Anyway, I hope you found this video both informative and interesting. I've actually yet to shoot on Super 8 myself, but I do plan to in the near future, so I'll happily do a follow-up video while my stock footage ends, but I will happily do a follow-up video if you like this video, and you can show me that you like this video by clicking the like button or commenting something below that's nice and non-abusive, or perhaps you could show your mum and take a picture of her face when she's finished watching the video and sending it to me via email. But I will happily do a follow-up video talking about working with Super 8 or shooting with Super 8. Those are just two potential titles, because they essentially mean the same thing. But I will happily do a follow-up video which divulges and discusses the limitations and opportunities and the pros and cons and why people like it and why it's popular, beyond the fact that it has that certain look. Because there are a lot of... there's a model of filmmaking which I did briefly mention in this video, but I can go into. I've been Ray Roberts, and you've been watching me. What?